welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany Bundles, and today's video is going to be going over some common misconceptions that people have about hair extensions. I think this is going to be a really fun and cool video, so if you are interested, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please make sure that you are subscribed, and let's get right into the video. So as you know, hence by my channel name, Brittany Bundles, I sell bundles, I sell hair extensions, and I also offer different options and tools and services to help people either establish their hair business or to grow their hair business or to supply hair extensions for their hair business. And so today, I thought of, how about I do a video going over some common misconceptions that people have about hair extensions in general. There are a few different hair extensions. Not everyone wears bundles. I brought a bundle out the house so you can kind of see what, I'm referring to when I say bundles. And a lot of people, I'm doing this because, some people ask, what is a bundle? What's a bundle of hair? And so I wanted to kind of show that. So if you are interested in my hair extensions or any services that I offer, please check out my website, which is always linked below. It's badchickhair.com. And I've gone ahead and I've Googled some some assumptions that people have about hair extensions. And I'm going to be going over how I feel about the assumptions and if I think that they're true or not. Now, I do want to make a disclosure that this video is going to be going off of my view and my opinion. And so it's completely okay to disagree. Everyone has their own opinion, and that's fine. On this channel, we make sure that we respect everyone, and we make sure that we welcome different ideas and different experiences because we understand that's the way that we all grow and learn. And so the first assumption that I'm going to go over is they are damaging to your hair. So I hear this a lot too, especially when I was younger. I would hear a lot of people say, hey, I don't wear weave. I don't wear hair extensions. I'm not wearing that stuff because it's going to damage or pull my hair out. And how I feel about that is depending on how you install your hair extensions, definitely has a part to play in how the how it will affect your natural hair. There's many different ways to adhere hair extensions. And so you have different methods like sew-ins, you have prontos or like quick weaves, you have the clip-in method, you have bonding, you have tape. There's a lot of different, ways or techniques out there to adhere hair extensions, like I mentioned. And so some of the health of your hair not only depends on the foundation, meaning the braid pattern, the way that the extensions are adhered to your hair. It not only depends on, what type of extensions you get and how it's rubbing against your natural hair. And not only depends on the kind of, thread that you're using, but it also depends on how you take care of your hair after you have the hair installed. I think a lot of people neglect their natural hair, and I'm not even going to say I think. A lot of people neglect their natural hair when it's in weave and also when it's not in weave. And so a big important fact when you are wearing any hair extensions is that your hair still needs to be taken care of. And this is something that I can say I've been guilty of. I've been guilty of wearing wigs and just changing up my wigs so often that I neglect my natural hair. And so when you start to realize that that's happening, you have to scale back and make a regimen or a routine for your hair and figure out what is best, because ultimately, you want to make sure that your hair is going to be healthy underneath whatever style or during whatever style you're wearing. So I could see why people say that and think that. Also, the damaging factor a lot of times happens when you are taking down the extensions, whether it be when you're taking down a sew-in and you're cutting too much, or whether it be you've left your sew-in up too long and your hair starts to mat, or whether it be that you have a pronto or a quick weave and you're not taking it out correctly, so some of your hair comes out and your edges are getting pulled out, or maybe it be that your braids for a sew-in are too tight and that causes your hair to come out around the edges as well. And so you just have to be cautious. There are correct ways to put in extensions. There are correct ways to put on your wigs, and wigs and extensions are definitely used for a lot of people as protective styles. And there's a lot of people that will tell you, hey, this is, wearing weave and wearing extensions have definitely helped my natural hair to grow and to remain healthy. And there's some people that will say, hey, it's not just for me. But we have to keep in mind that everyone has different hair textures, and everyone has different install methods and techniques, and different techniques as far as taking care of their hair. So I think this assumption can definitely be true, like I mentioned, and it can also be false. It just depends on you and how you go about taking care of your hair. Also, another misconception is that they take a long time to implement. I'm going to have to be on the fence with this one too. This is kind of split. It could take a long time and it may not take a long time. Like I mentioned, with hair extensions, there's a lot of different ways that you can install the hair extensions and adhere them to your hair. And so if you're talking about a wig, that's not going to, for me, I know that doesn't take too long. I can put a wig on and be out the house, within, I don't want to say within minutes, but it depends on if I'm gluing it down, waiting for the glue to dry. It depends on if the wig is already styled and ready for me to go out the house. It depends on a lot of things, but I know it doesn't take me too long. Even for a sew-in, it doesn't take a really long time. It can depend on the braid pattern. I know sometimes if I'm not really looking to keep my hair up for too long, the braids won't be really small and they won't be, tight, and I'll just hurry up and put like 4 braids in, put my cap on and sew the tracks across the cap. And I know sometimes there's different braiding patterns to make sure that your hair lasts a lot longer than just, a few weeks or maybe a month. And so it all depends. I think it depends on who's doing your hair too, how fast they braid, are they taking breaks, how thick your hair is, how much hair you have on your head. So, on this one, I'll have to say it could take a long time to install, to implement. And then also it like I said, it depends on a couple different factors. So, I don't know. And then also with clip-ins, I know if you put clip-ins in your hair, you can be out the house in minutes. It doesn't take that long either, depending on the style that you're going to put, that you're using the clip-ins for, depending on how many clip-ins you're using, depending on, how thick your hair is. It all really depends. It's kind of like a case by case basis, in my opinion. So I know even when I was running my salon, I would ask, my stylist, hey, how long do you anticipate the style being? And sometimes, depending on, they may have anticipated originally for the style to be maybe 45 minutes, and then once they actually have the client seated, they may say, whoa, her hair is a lot longer than I thought. And she wants her braids a lot longer than she originally wanted them. And, sometimes if we were doing children's hair, they'd be like, okay, we want beads added. And okay, we want this added. And okay, can you add this color at the bottom of the braids? And so depending on the style, like I said, braiding, adding extensions to your hair, that's another form of installing extensions in your hair. Like I said, there's just different ways. I think a lot of times when we talk about issues or topics, I try not to have just a one-track mind. I try not to just assume that everyone's referring to what I sell as far as bundles and closures and frontals and wigs. I try not to assume that that's just what everyone's talking about, because there's some people that still wear extensions, but they wear it in the form of braids. And so like I said, it really depends. So, like I said, it could take a long time to implement, and sometimes it doesn't. The next misconception is they are painful to remove. We kind of touched on this in the beginning of the video, depending on what extensions you have. So, for me, when I take out braids, say I have micros, I know when I was younger, I used to wear a lot of micros. When I take down micros versus cornrows, I would have a different feeling on my head. It all really depends too on your scalp, because I know I can get the exact same style as one of my cousins. And when we were kids, my mom would be sitting down and, you sit on the floor and you sit between your mom's legs, and she'll start braiding your hair. And then, you're done. And then she gets your cousin, and your cousin sit down and she starts braiding her hair. And your cousin's like, ah. And you're like, girl, it did not hurt that bad. And I know sometimes you would even see people getting popped with the comb. And you'll be like, she deserved that pop because it did not hurt that well. When you get older, you realize that everyone has a different sensitivity with their scalp. Everyone is different. That's just the bottom line. So it may be painful for some people. I don't, hey, it may be, who am I to tell you that it doesn't hurt? For me, I'm not really that tender-headed. It doesn't really hurt when I take down my braids. It doesn't really hurt when I take down a sew-in. It doesn't hurt me if I get braids in. It doesn't hurt. Now, like I said, it depends on who does it. I have had some people in my head that were very heavy-handed, and I felt the tension a lot more than someone else. And then I've had experiences where I've gotten my hair braided for like a sew-in, or even just for braids, box braids, and then it didn't hurt while they were doing it. But when I went home later that night, my head was like, whoa, this is tight. And so, you know, sometimes I would take them down that same day. Like, this is just too tight. It's just uncomfortable. So I could see how, you know, and sometimes when people are uncomfortable, they say that they're in pain. So I think it's a thin line. Yes, I think that some people do have pain when they're removing extensions, and I think that some people don't. I think it just depends, like I said on the last two. And the last assumption that I'm going to go over is they can only be used once. So I hate to be on the fence on every single assumption that we're going over in this video, because typically I don't. I typically have a yes or no. But hey, these are all assumptions that could sway one way or the other. I feel like some people will say yes and some people will say no. As far as me, I think it depends. If it's bundles that you're wearing, or like a closure or frontal or a wig, yes, you can reuse those types of hair extensions, and depending on the quality as well. I know with my hair extensions, I reuse them all the time. Once I get done with my sewing, I put them aside, maybe in a bag, or, you know, wherever I want to place them, and I hold them until the next time I want to reinstall them. And so, yes, you definitely can reinstall your hair extensions. You can definitely rewear your wigs. Like I said, it depends on the quality. Sometimes I've had friends that even have called and they're like, hey, I purchased hair, tried another vendor out, and, you know, maybe I should have come to you because I can't wear it again. And so you have to realize that not all hair is the same. Not every company is the same. There are going to be some, you know, companies that will allow for you to reuse your hair. That's the whole purpose behind, you know, buying higher quality hair extensions, so that you can wear them longer and that they have a longer, more longevity than other extensions. So yes, you definitely can reuse them. If you're talking about, like I said, extensions that really aren't high quality, extensions that are used for just maybe like a one week style. I know there's hair extensions and companies out there that I primarily see them in the beauty supply stores, and it's no jab to the beauty supply store. Not, I'm really close to one of our local beauty supply stores, and they'll even tell you, like, this hair right here, it's not going to last you for over 5 months. You know, this hair right here is not going to last you for, you know, a couple weeks. A lot of people are saying they don't like this hair. They'll tell you, they're just honest and tell you. So it's not like a jab or anything. It's just speaking frankly. There's just some hair that won't take you there, you know? So, I would say, like I said before, it depends. But if you are purchasing higher end quality extensions, if that is something that is listed on their website that you're going to be able to reuse the hair, then you should be able to reuse the hair. Now, when you reuse the hair, like I said, once you purchase the hair, once you install it, a lot of times the way that you care for the hair definitely has a way to play in how long it's going to last. If you purchase something and you are not taking care of it, you're just like, whatever, I'm not doing nothing to it, I'm just going to put it on and that's that. You know, it can be damaging to your natural hair if you're not taking care of it, and it can also be damaging to your extensions. So you just want to make sure that if you are planning on reusing your hair extensions, that you take care of them, that you are doing whatever the hair care instructions on that website provides, that you are still taking care of your natural hair, and that you are, like I said, taking care of the extensions as well, because it's an investment and you want to make sure that you're getting all of your money's worth. So this video was pretty fun, to me at least. I hope you all enjoyed it. I just wanted to go over my viewpoint on some of these common assumptions that were on Google. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.